Topic B is called manual backups. Conventional database backup statement, as in backup database, doesn't work in Azure SQL database. The manual backup consists of exporting the database as a DAC pack, which includes the data and the schema, or a backpack, which is just the database schema, and then bulk copying out the data into CSV file. The manual backups can be performed in the following ways. We can export the backpack to an Azure storage account using the Azure portal. We can export the backpack to Azure storage account using PowerShell. We can export the backpack or DAC pack to an on-premises system using SQL package.exe, and we can export the backpack using SQL Server Management Studio. Now, the extract data tier will create a DAC pack file that has the database schema in it. In this demo, we're going to back up the Azure SQL database using SQL Server Management Studio. So we've been tasked with backing up the Azure SQL database using SQL Server Management Studio. And in order to do this, we will connect Azure SQL database server in SQL Server Management Studio. We will expand the databases folder, and then we will right-click on the Toy Store database. From the menu that appears, we will go to Tasks, and then we will select the Export Data Tier application. And the first screen of any Microsoft wizard tells you what this wizard is going to do, and it tells us it's going to export the schema and data from the database to the logical backpack file format. And then we'll click on Next to continue. And then we can carry on filling in our wizard. So on here, we will choose the option Save to Local Disk, and then we will browse. We will go to our C drive. I'm going to go to the code folder here, and we're going to give our file a name. So I'm going to call this Toy Store Azure, and then I'm going to give it the date, and I'm going to click Save. And when I filled in the export settings, I'm going to click on Next. This brings us Wizard Summary. Basically going to verify the source, which is our Toy Store Azure SQL database server, and the target is a local folder on my machine. And then I'm going to click on Finish. Then SMS will extract the schema and then the data into our backpack file. And it's just worth noting here, the backpack isn't transactionally consistent. It exports the tables individually, and the data can change in between the first and last table export. Okay, so just be aware of that if you're ever backing these up. Now, we create a backpack file here. There is something called a DAC pack as well. DAC pack stands for Data Tier Application Package, and it contains the database schema in XML format. So DAC is the database lifecycle management tool that allows us to simplify development, deployment, and management of data tier elements supporting an application. Backpacks are generally used to move databases from one server to another, or migrating a database, as we saw in an earlier lesson. And my export is now finished. I can click on Close, and then if I go to my code folder on my C drive, if I go to the code folder, you can see the backpack file that I've just created.